What's going on, YouTube? This is episode 2 of Messin with Mary, and today we just got 2 quick projects. I know the last video was a little long, but I hope it was a little bit informative. Let's see, today we got just 2 things. So let me give you a recap on the air system. Let me give you a quick recap. So what I did off camera, because it got extremely dark, it's really dark in here. What I did off camera was I changed the unloader pins for the compressor, as you see in there, and I put some gasket filler. You know, it's like a gasket maker. You can get it at Home Depot. It's kind of like an RTV seal, but make sure you get the high heat one. And again, it's cheap, $6-7 bucks. And you just, you know, now you can lay it a little more evenly than that, but hey, listen, it doesn't matter. Function over form. As long as it looks good and it gets the job done, that's the most important part. You don't have to be perfect. That's not the goal. So oh, and make sure when you tighten these, make sure you have a torque wrench, which is something that I had to invest in. Very important. Yeah, so I changed the unloader pins, and when it cuts out, you still have the same problem, but I would say it's not as bad. So again, somewhere down the line, that's going to need to be addressed and get some more work done, but that was fine. You know, I'm happy with it. I took the top part of the compressor apart, which is nice, and you know, it wasn't too crazy, and it was pretty good. You know, anybody could do it, really. Just put your mind to it. About a year ago, I would never think of doing something crazy like that. So but yeah, that was a recap from the last episode, that changed the unloader pins, and it helped with the problem. I wouldn't say it fixed it, but it did help. So that was one thing. And 2, there's a patch over here by the door that I'm going to show you underneath this first tray. So let's see. So this first tray, which is what we're going to be dealing with today. Now, this panel right here is a little bit crooked. It was bent back into place. So at some point there might have been, you know, some type of collision or something going on up here, and they fixed it. But the thing is, because, you know, in here you got your skirt and everything, because you got the skirt, a lot of water and moisture gets caught up in there. So I noticed this little rust patch right here that I want to take care of. So let me see. No, okay, that's good enough. So what I did was I got some self-etching primer, which is good for rust, to lock it in so it doesn't spread. And then just follow up behind it with some usual black Rust-Oleum paint and primer. Oh, and I was gonna do a video on how to change your governor. I'll give you a rundown on that later. But oh, and your coffee, don't forget that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start. We're gonna just get straight into it. Now this is a 20-volt drill. You don't have to get a 20-volt, but being that it's already starting to eat at it, what you could do is you can just stop it. I'm trying to get a good angle for you guys. Let me see. You want to get all this out, because it's already, the thing is, it's already rusted, so And you know, you just want to smooth it out. That way it doesn't spread. Alright, let me get a little bit closer so that way you guys can get in here. Alright, so, and you can get these bits from, I got it from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is your best friend. You get a lot of cheap, affordable tools that get the job done. And that's what you want to do. You want to take off a lot of this surface rust. So that way, when you fill this in, it won't be so bad. Again, this is a disclaimer. I am by no means a mechanic. But I will say this. What I'm doing, it can't get much worse. So what you're doing is, eventually down the line, you know, you can get some body filler and everything, make it look nice. But, you know, for right now, if you just want to stop the rust from spreading, which is what you want to do, because this is the only part on this whole front panel that has any type of, you know, rust. Because think about it, when it rains, you know, salt, snow, all of that rain and everything gets caught up in this panel. Everything gets caught up in this panel, and this is from years and years of stuff getting caught up in the panel. So that's what we're doing now. We're getting rid of at least this surface rust, this loose rust. So that way, it looks a lot, I'll tell you what, it looks a lot better already. Make sure you hold on to this drill and wear eye protection. Also, make sure you wear some eye protection because stuff is flying everywhere. So you just gotta make sure that all of this is. At least make it look, you know, a lot better. Definitely looks better. Definitely looks a lot better. Now again, this is just a temporary fix because this is pretty new where it started getting pretty bad. Alright, so now we're back again. And I'm just basically doing a, you know, get a nice coat in of this self-etching primer. Because what this does is that it will stop the rust from spreading. Again, this is not a 100%, you know, rust preventative solution, but let me tell you, it'll still be a lot better than what it was. So, and you know, you don't have to really mask this. This is all, you know, for the underneath of the bus. So what I'm gonna do is one day I'm gonna get a nice power washer and go underneath the bus anyways. So now we're gonna wait for this to dry and then we go over it with some black paint. I mean, this is all Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum, stick with that for paint, rust stuff. definitely stick with these two, Rust-Oleum. I like Rust-Oleum. A lot of people use it, and yeah. But definitely get you a nice wire brush and stuff to get a lot of surface rust off. Yeah, you'll be good to go. So when this dries, I'm gonna go over it again with some black paint and stuff, and it'll look a lot better. So in the meantime, we're gonna go look at another project. Alright guys, I am back at it again. I did some off-camera work. Took off the Carter logo on the front. I already showed you guys how to do that in my last video, so you know it looks good actually. When you step back, no more Carter, so it looks good. Actually, I'm gonna leave this down so I can get a photo, but yeah, now this is definitely dry, so we're gonna just finish this real quick. Touch this up. Yeah, see, that looks a lot better. So now when you go over it with some black paint, it'll really look nice. So just go over this real quick and shake it up, 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 shake it up. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect job. We're not paint people, but what it will do is this will stop this rust right in its tracks, so it doesn't get worse. So that way you have time in the future to really sand this down, possibly put a new piece of metal, you know, make it look nicer. But for right now, this gets the job done. So and just start, you know, look a lot nicer. Again, if you get a little overspray, that's fine, because you can just clean that up with some Goo Gone. Does not have to be perfect, guys, but it will look a lot better. So there you go. So when this dries, it'll look a lot nicer. Eventually I'm going to get a whole undercoating of this bus, but this bus will not see winter of 2020, so you know, I don't have to worry about rust. I'm not parked on grass or anything. That's why I had to get a tarp in my old lot. So, you know, I don't have to worry about it spreading. But definitely want to go in here with a power washer. See this from the sanding. So, yeah. So, that's done. And, matter of fact, while this is here, I'm not going to change this. But, I'll just bring this back to the engine bay and show you guys what this does. And it works for, this is almost an, I don't want to say most transit buses, but a good percent of transit buses uses this governor, or governor in general. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna put the tops on these, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to the back. Now again, I'm not gonna change this. I will not be changing this. This is just a spare, but I'll go back there and show you guys what this does. So, all right. So this right here is a governor. What happens is it mounts right onto the side of the compressor, just like this, and you have your air lines hooked up to it. So you have your unloading hose connected to the bottom of it right here, and then you have your discharge ports on the top. So what happens is, this is basically a governor's it's basically a bridge. What happens is this piece right here, it tells the compressor, hey, when I get to 120 psi, bam, I don't need any more air. When it gets to 120, it sends air, the compressor, you know, pumps the air through the system, goes through the tanks, comes back when it gets to 120. When it gets to 120, it cuts out. It's supposed to stop pumping air. That's what the governor does. The governor routes where the air from the compressor goes. The governor basically tells it where to go. The air compressor pumps, the governor tells it where to go. So you have your line on the left side, it goes through the Skinner valve, and then it goes behind the fan, and it goes to the wet tank, and then it goes to the air dryer. So when it gets to 120, this will send a signal. The air will go to the dryer will come back, hey, I'm full. That's what happens when you get to 120. So what happens is, when you get this, you have to, you know, put the, not all of these holes will be used, because you can put this on so many different trucks, buses, etc. So for all the people that have these, I'm gonna put this up so that way it might be of some use in case you need to change it. A lot of people, where your fans are stuck on, or maybe your governor doesn't cut out the way it's supposed to, this is the, change this first. It's cheap, it's $20. It will fix a lot of the problems. The dryer, the air dryer never worked on this bus until I changed this. So once you change this, dryer started working. But then another thing too is, if the dryer was bypassed and you go and change this, you might discover that your air dryer is not working. And some people, you know, will block it out so that way, you know, if it doesn't freeze, if it's at a place where it doesn't freeze, you know, some agencies will just not focus on the air dryer and they won't change it. But in reality, for all the Northeast people and people up here, you need an air dryer. It's not a maybe, it's not an if and or a but. Your air dryer takes out oil, it stops things from freezing. So this little mechanism right here, 20 bucks, 20 to 30 bucks actually. You can adjust it on the bottom. If you wanted to cut out at 110, if you wanted to cut out at 120, I wouldn't adjust it. The only way I would adjust it is if you get it and you install it and it cuts out at 110 and you feel like, hey, that's not right, you can just go in there with a flathead and just turn the knob and it'll adjust. So that's all. That's it. Today was basically a quick video. Today was a big cleanup day inside Marriott. I just wanted to take care of that part underneath because I didn't want it to get any worse. Today was just, you know, cleanup day, getting the interior straightened up and everything, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna get out of here, and today was a quick episode because I know my last episode was a little long, but yeah, that's it. Those are the two projects we tackled today. So trying to get as much things done before it gets cold. I feel like we're gonna have a pretty bad winter, so yep. All right guys, so I'll keep you posted till the next episode. This was definitely a quick one. Oh, and it's in 4K, by the way. I did not realize I didn't have it on 4K until I uploaded it on YouTube, so this will be in 4K. And also, we need to work on getting Miss Girl a bath, because even though she doesn't look bad, she is dirty. She is dirty. So the Blue Beacon, man, they do a good job. Actually, we got a little bit of bonus footage. I completely forgot that I had a brand new air filter inside, so I'm gonna show you guys how to change an air filter on a 94 Metro. So basically, most of your Metros, right, from what I've noticed, they use the same thing. the P18-1015. A lot of your Metros use that filter, so you could just replace it with that. And yeah, so we got this right here is the old filter, which it's been in there a while. It's got about 3,000 or so miles on it, and I didn't realize how dirty it was. And it's pretty dirty. It's pretty dirty, man, let me tell you. So I didn't realize it. I had a new one in there. I figured I'd wait, but you know what, why not? Let's just change it right now. Okay, so you gotta make sure when you put it in, pause, you gotta line it up. And you gotta line it up so that way it doesn't stick out too much on this side. So you put it in there. So when you have it in there, you take your cover and you just zoop. Make sure you put one of these back, and then wham. Like I said, not bad. Not bad at all. Like I said, you got to make sure that it is even, because it might look like it's in, but it's not. Like right now. Proud to say I haven't changed this in a while. I mean, it's been about at least 3,000 miles. I changed this air filter when I got the bus, so it's been in there for a while. So there you go. It slips on. Slips on. Slips on. And there you have it. And that's how you change an air filter. That's gotta be the easiest thing you can do to your bus for bus ownership. But as you can tell, it doesn't take much to get your hands dirty. So yeah, definitely the easiest thing to do. You boost performance, you boost your fuel economy. It's the easiest, quickest thing to change. I mean, when you get a bus, change the air filter. Especially 9 times out of 10, you don't realize idling, running on the highway, driving around the city, just like your car, your air filter gets clogged. And it gets clogged pretty fast. Like, I'm actually impressed that this filter is dirty. So good thing I have my spare. Try to keep you a spare air filter if you can. Air filter, fuel filters. The air filter, if you don't have a spare, fine. It's not that big a deal, because air comes through here, air cleans it. Well, this is technically called an air cleaner. The filter is what I just replaced. You know, your air comes through here, it's fine. If it's clean, it's fine. You don't need a spare. But what you do need to have as a spare, if you can, is fuel filters. Fuel filters, guys. Fuel filters. If you have a spare, if anything, get fuel filters. You just never know. God forbid you run out of fuel. God forbid one of them get clogged or something, and you need the primer real quick and you need to swap filters. What if you decide to put some fuel cleaner in there and all of a sudden you start getting power loss? You have backup filters. You change those filters real quick, you're ready to go. Now, granted, this bus is easy because your primary or secondary is right in your face. On the T-drive bus, see, this is V-drive. The engine's facing this way, the fan is this way. T-drive, everything is this way. So your fuel filters might be on your left side or your right side. I mean, depending on the agency, you never know. Sometimes agencies mount them different for mechanics, so that way it's easier. It all depends. But on this bus, they're right in your face. So that is an awesome benefit. So definitely fuel filters. Your oil filters, On this bus is right on top of the A-frame. The A-frame is like this in front of the engine. The oil filter is right here on the right side. 2 of them. They're pretty big too. And you basically got to put the bus in the air or be pretty skinny to get underneath there and change them. And if you change them, be prepared to have a drain pan and it'll be covered in oil. So yeah, just that added little tidbit. I just realized I was walking back after finishing the episode. I says, wait a minute, why not? I could just add the air filter to it, you know, get that good content out there for you guys about bus ownership. And a lot of this stuff is cheap, you know, little things that you can do. So all right guys, I'm out of here now. I'm done. So but stay tuned. I'm gonna add a lot of content throughout the ownership of this bus, so cannot wait. All right guys, later.